I think we reunited in jiu-jitsu, right?
Yes.
And I remember you said something to me, and I think I asked you why it was that you joined. Do you remember what you said to me?
Probably said a lot of things. I think one of the things that sticks out, if I'm not mistaken, was I know for me it was something that was super challenging, and it was something that I didn't want to do, and that was the exact reason why I knew I should have, why I knew I needed to do it. So I don't know if that was a answer you're
Yeah,
looking for,
I
but
remember you telling me, and that was part
yeah,
of it. And I told you just keep showing up.
yeah.
It's one of those things that I don't think. Well, I guess some people do enjoy, but I didn't enjoy
No, I
myself.
hated it.
Right?
Hated it.
Who wants to put themselves through an hour of pain
Yeah,
and leave twisted like a pretzel and every
yeah,
bone and finger hurting? Right?
yeah,
But in the end, you feel so accomplished.
yeah.
But what you did tell me was, I remember you said something like, "One day I want to have a family,
Mm,
and I want to be able to protect that family."
mm,
So I think a capable man is violent man.
yeah,
Not in a violent way, like he's going to go out and attack random people, but knowing that he's capable, right? Because, like, I'll give you an example of myself. If I go out and let's say somebody wants to start a fight with me, they push me, they shove me, they call me slurs, they can even spit on me, it doesn't bother me.
yeah,
It doesn't bother me. It'll roll off my back because the way I think about it is, okay, is it worth it? Right? Let's say I win.
yeah,
I don't really win, right? Now I risk the chance of jail, right? Lawsuits.
yeah.
On top of that, I'm probably going to scratch my watch, right? I'm going to mess up my clothes.
Not
I'm
the
going to mess
patty.
up my fingers. It's going to put it, it's going to ruin the whole night for everybody.
Yeah,
So it's not even worth it,
right.
right? However, if I go out with somebody that I truly care about, I will absolutely engage. It's like, it's over. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. I will die for that person if I need to.
Yeah,
And what training has taught me is, one, to be capable, two, to have control.
mm,
So I think in order to be a man of God, you do have to do some sort of training to truly be able to protect your family if that day were to come.
absolutely. Yeah, I think it's kind of comparable to like a physical fire, right? In the right context, a fire can bring life, right? It can purify. It can bring warmth and and a protection. But in the wrong setting, it can also burn the whole forest down, right? So it's that strength, it's that power, but it's under control. And I think that's what society, I think that's what culture is lacking is, a lot of men who are trying to get influence or trying to build a name for themselves or try to put out an image that they're not. And in reality, it's a loose power, right? It's kind of like walking out and just swinging, right? But not actually calculating the punches. I think if every man was strategic, was stoic, was tactical in how they talked, how they carried themselves, in a way that they walk into a room, the presence about them. I think if every man was on the same page to where we all should have that courage, we all should have that strength, we all should have that power and that authority, but under firm control, I think we'd be in a much different environment than we are today.
The next topic I want to talk about is dating.
Yeah.
Okay. Dating is a nightmare nowadays.
Yeah.
Now, I do see men's side, but I also see the women's side. I have two younger sisters myself. And one of the reasons why I started this podcast is because I want them to have a real masculine, godly man in their life one day. What I want to say is I hear a bunch of men complaining that there are no good women out there. And I don't think that's true. Why doesn't that woman respect you?
Mm.
Right? Do you keep your word? Do you have honor? Right? Do you have integrity? These were all traits of a godly man, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Right? So what would be your advice for the men specifically who are struggling in the dating market?
Yeah. I think it's so important that we're looking in the right places, right? I think that's a big one. You can't expect to find a woman of God when you're, at the club every weekend, right? Or I know the women of God are out there, but as a man, if you want a woman of high esteem, if you want a woman of high confidence, if you want a woman of high and strong and bold femininity, you need to be that man that is worthy of those traits. You need to be that man who knows what he wants. You need to be that man who knows who he is. I always say, I know who I am because I know whose I am,
Mm.
right? I know that I'm a child of God. I know that I'm a son. And knowing that identity, I believe knowing who you are in Christ, that's the foundation. That's the start. So I would say, equal and opposite forces. You can't expect to have somebody who's pursuing the heart of God, who's taking care of the people around them, who's loving and serving the community when you're not doing that yourself. Uh, that's a hypocrite, right?
Mm.
So I would say, as men, it's so important to not be a hypocrite and to actually be a man of your word, be a man of integrity, be a man of courage, as we talked about. And so I think understanding that God has created you to be the man that he wants you to be, you need to embrace that. You need to find out what man that is first before we even think about pursuing and leading a woman in a
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard somebody say, don't ask God for a wife. Ask God to make you a husband,
Mm.
right? Are you husband material? Take a hard look in the mirror.
Yeah.
God knows I had to take a hard look in the mirror. And for a long time, I was like, God, I think I'm ready for my next relationship. But truly, after looking myself in the mirror, I wasn't. Okay. There was a lot that I needed to fix myself. So I would say, take a look in the mirror. Are you husband material, right? Are you a protector, a true protector, stuff that we talked about? Can you be a provider? If a woman came into your life, would you be able to take care of her if she had your kids? And if the answer is no, then that's something you need to work on, right? Are you a man of your word? If you say something, do you follow through? I think a woman would respect a man who kept his word, right? She can count on you if you say something. And are you capable? Luckily for me, growing up, my dad always got me involved with the stuff that he was doing, whether it was car work, landscaping, housework, whatever it was, he always got me involved. And I thank him.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's so good. A quote that really encourages me and that I live by is, be the man you want your future son to become, right? If you're dealing with sin, if you're dealing with addiction, if you're dealing with just stuff going on in your life, like talk about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why it's so important to have a community. And I think, this culture of men where it's just like, we just need to stuff everything away and just tough it out, like talk about it. I always say you're only as free as open and honest you are. But I think that goes, you can't just go out and just, trust everyone, right? You need to find that community. And as men, you need to find that brotherhood that are pushing you closer, not that are actually like pushing you closer to Jesus and steering you away from your sin, not the other way around.